As a child, I had a friend. I liked her, so I called her. Day and night, I got beaten for this, but still. I would call her. She felt I had nothing to offer her, so she would never call back. So yeah, after a while, I stopped calling her, and soon I would only call her on her birthday to say happy birthdays alone. So yeah, every single year I would call. She still seemed to feel I had nothing to offer her. Yet I continued to call each year. There was a year I didn't call, because I felt she's gotten friends of her own important to her. Indeed they were. I saw her happy, and this made me happy. The next year I called to say happy birthday. Surprised, she made a comment that I don't remember her. And I was like, how? It's only a year I intentionally didn't call you, so you could have fun with your friends, and I don't spoil it. She was starting to get used to me calling her every birthday. In the past, I called her every single day. It wasn't important to her. Attention isn't love, I guess. As then my calls only would piss her off. Like I could feel the irritation from the bottom of her heart. She felt I was gay, and as she's anti-LGBT people. That's what she's been taught growing up. I never had anything against homosexuality though. I have always known I wasn't female. I told her, I'm FTM male. Even though I did tell her, all she understands is that all of me is creepy. So that very birthday of hers, she said, well, she's changed. I should call more. But by then, I already wasn't one who sees value in calls anymore, as she taught me this much. So I texted her via WhatsApp, and soon it turned into I don't have a life of my own, so I would disturb her. Having self-respect for myself, I stopped texting, and went back to just texting and calling her on her birthdays alone. Years passed. A fateful day, out of nowhere, it pressed in my heart. I called her. It wasn't her birthday yet, so I prayed she's gonna be fine, and pushed it away, but it was stronger, and suddenly, a scary thought came. What if I miss the opportunity to call her now? And she doesn't make it to her birthday. Scared something might happen to her. I called her. I called her once, it didn't go. I almost panicked. I refuted the thought and called her again. Same silence. I turned into a prayer warrior, and prayed she's alright and called her again. So when she picked up, I was happy, very happy. I heard her soft voice. It sounded exhausted. I wonder what was going on. Because I always prayed she's in good health. So I knew she was never sick. And I didn't have to worry about her, even if it's from afar. And through the years, I have testified to how healthy she's been. And it's unlikely of her to not pick a call for me. She was surprised with my call. She went on to say, you see, I didn't want to pick just now. I have been avoiding some calls. I thought probably some annoying guys. But she went on to say, I am in a mess, she said. I could hear it in her voice. She was at the end of her wits. She had been crying so much, non-stop, emotionally sick, to the point her physical body started to fail her. All that negative energy was drowning her into a dark pit. I could see this, because now I had grown to understand how much our feelings affect our physical body. Then I understood. If I didn't call the time I did, I don't know what would have happened if I waited for her birthday to call her. She naturally opened up to me because she was at that point where she felt worthless. No friends, no one to talk to her. She felt so alone, drowning in her problems. Her precious image was destroyed. She had been called all sorts because of the debts she gotten herself into. To her now, in her own understanding, she's lower than me. To her, she's at the very bottom. For her, someone who doesn't have anything is richer than someone who has a huge debt to their name. I guess we all have felt not having anything is horrible, and never grateful for having an empty wallet, forgetting not having a huge debt is much better. But at least she's got nothing to lose anymore, so what's in listening to me? At least I called her. I tried to remind her about the girl she is, someone always worthy of me taking the beating for. I tried to help her feel better as much as I could. I couldn't leave her alone. I just couldn't take closing a blind eyes to her pains. So I had a long conversation with her that day. The call ended on 737 naira and she called me back. Someone who would never call me back through the years now called me. I was surprised in my heart. But I guess it's now. She saw my value. So I cut the call and called back. And we talked more. And all me trying to change her vibration as much as I can. And she trying to complain to me. I tried talking about how worrying only promotes negative energy, and how negative energy would only attract much more negativity. What you focus on only grows, how worrying is focusing on negative energy. Suddenly the call ended again on 737 naira. The first time I didn't give attention to it, the second time, I was more consciously wondering what was going on with the unique numbers. She called back again and said, "That's another debtor." I cut the call and called back apparently. Her soul was just yawning to be loved, you know, to feel love. And she's known. I am honestly, someone who really loves her, even if it's all creepy to her, because over the years, she's lost a number of friendships, and seen different people. To me, she didn't have to be anything but herself. And I always loved her. She didn't have to have anything, or give me anything in return. So she's naturally comfortable with me telling me anything. She's felt like I am immoral, because I love her, and she understands me as a sin. So she's never felt there's something she can't tell me. And then again, she doesn't need to be worthy in my eyes, these she's always felt. And naturally, because of my unconditional love, I just feel her soul just wanted to feel worthy of love. And so me reminding her, she's always been worthy to me. Even when I had to get beaten for it. We talked for long. My main reasons was to break the negative impact of the negative energy she's been attracting. So she's not worrying, so at least not attracting more negativity. And so I didn't care how that affected my pocket, because I had grown to where I had risen above letting things I can't control make me feel bad. In fact, just in talking to her, I was even more grateful for the very little I had. And then I understood more, because I never had a single debt, and I never was someone who would borrow, not even to feed, when I was going hungry. But at least I didn't have sleepless nights about bills I owed. Because nothing of such was the case for me, I learned to appreciate being a nobody for once. You see, because it's only an empty space that can be filled, but if there's already something there, it's not possible to put something in a filled space without taking out what fills it. So all the conversations, just so to get her to feel good as much as I can, because I understand that if she could just feel good, she could start to change her vibration and in return change the outcome of her reality. And this has always been who I am. I would never feel anyone is less and has nothing to offer me. But yeah, I would respect everyone's space, and not embrace just anyone, but who wants me for who I am, and not who they think I am. I do hope to meet someone to whom I can spend eternity with. All I want is to have something that lasts for eternity, or nothing at all.